it's time for us to talk nutrition this morning, and we're talking about junk food and your health, the importance of understanding the dangers of junk food. All right, we're going to get into that conversation. Now we have Evans Selamid Adra, who is a registered dietitian and the CEO of Diet Med Consult. Now, of course, you know how it is in this world these days, where junk food are very delicious, and the things that you don't particularly like to eat are the ones that you are told they are the ones that are very healthy for you, you see. It's difficult, it's challenging, it's not easy to handle that, but yes, that's what we have, and so I'm going to get right into it and find out, exactly what it is that we need to know to make our lives a bit better. Frema, I don't know what you think about the issue of junk food.
It is even recorded in the Bible that the wrongs I don't want to do are the ones that I am doing. The good I cannot. So the Bible even acknowledges the fact that, Charlie, it is very difficult. That they say that the road to heaven is very narrow.
It's narrow, right?
Exactly. So to good health, you won't like it. Nah.
But eventually,
but that is what will give you your salvation and eternal life.
Evans, Charlie, how are you?
I'm excellent.
Okay. So this issue of junk food and our health,
But what is junk food?
Junk food. Food that gives you baller nutrition.
What is that? No, I think Eric Evans should help us with that. When we say junk food, what exactly are we talking about? Because then some people's lives,
it's all junk. Yeah.
Because if you go elsewhere, it is in Ghana that you would have homegrown meals, organic, stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, they don't even have the soil to be growing all this. So right from cultivation to what comes out, to the joints and all that, we are looking at food. So what is junk food?
Very good. Thank you so much. Lovely viewers, good morning. And when we talk about junk, you made mention of bola.
Yeah, nutrition.
Bola nutrition.
How can you say that? Some people's meals.
And talking about that straight away, junk foods are actually foods that have few characteristics I'll talk about. One, they are very high in calories.
Okay.
And when we talk about calorie actually has to do with the total energies that we need for a day. The human body is just like a car, which needs fuel to be able to travel a certain distance. And for us, our distance is for the whole day. If you eat in the evening till the next morning, you should have a certain amount of fuel in your car or our body to be able to get to the next day. So if we take junk foods, they are very high in calories. That is the first one. Then apart from that, they are very salty.
Okay.
They are high in sodium or in salt.
Wow.
That is also another feature of junk foods.
Okay.
If you put that aside, they are also very fatty. Very, very fatty. That is the third one. And then they are very low in what we call dietary fiber.
Okay, so they are on the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. So recently we had the opportunity to look at what dietary fiber is and then what role it plays in the body. So when we take junk foods, very, very low in dietary fiber. If you put that aside, there are what you call micronutrients, our vitamins and our minerals. They are sometimes completely lacking in them. Talk of iron, talk of folic acid, talk of vitamin C, vitamin A, zinc, selenium.
There's none in
There is none in some of them. And even where they are present in very small or minute quantities. Okay. So when we talk about junk foods, this is what actually they are. The truth is that if you take all what I've made mention of, if you look at how diseases develop, high salt play a role, and then a lot of fat also play a role, a lot of sugar, where the food is lacking in fiber, it also plays a role in that. The vitamins and the minerals are involved in a lot of biochemical processes within the human body. And so long as we are not having adequate amount, nutrient deficiencies will begin to set in. Now, when we look at the practice of dietetics, we are actually looking at preventive health care. We don't wait for the disease to set in before we start looking at what medications to buy to take care of whatever. But you are eating consciously so that there will not be the beginning of diseases in your body. So doing away with what will bring the disease is always very, very, important. I keep saying that if diet is right, medication is of no use because most of the medications even we have, the active ingredients in them are extracted from food to be able to form them. There are a lot of them, very, very common around from our, beverages, alcoholic and the non-alcoholic beverages. These days, you go to club, some functions, what is served most are the alcoholic beverages. And then also, not only that, but there are actually instances where you walk in town. Initially, these soft drinks are not rampant as they are today. Today, majority of the shops we have, they are loaded with soft drinks. And that is what is retelling the story of our health. So what should we be drinking? Exactly, I will come that. That is retelling the story of our health. Initially, obesity issues were very, very low. But today, our rate is around 47%, both adults and children combined, the aged combined. So it is very important that we look at all this. Before I answer your question, I want us to go through them quickly. If you put aside the beverages, we are talking about our pastries. So the pies, the cakes, they are all there. The ice creams are also are all there. We are talking of our samosas. They are very rampant.
But vegetable spring roll?
Vegetable spring roll, perfect, because some modification has actually gone. So we have a number of them on our screens. Our donuts are there. Our shawarmas are there, the pizzas are there. And you see, you can see that loaded, very appealing, very attractive, but the truth is that the end is health. That is the road that leads to
death. Is
there
pizza, I see there?
Yes, pizzas are in there. Yes, and even for the pizza, you want to look at how it is made, what is, combined to form it and so on. So all these are, the examples of junk foods that you have.
What should we eat? Because everything is here.
Exactly.
What should we eat?
And you see, you will agree with me that in days of old, these things were not there. Yet we were still eating. Well, you see. So in terms of what to eat, I always recommend our natural products. Our maize, roasted, boiled with coconut. That is an excellent nutritional material. If you talk about food, food is any nutritional material which when consumed enables the body to perform a lot of biochemical processes. You see, so there are actually nutrients in them. And some of the nutrients, we call them essential nutrients. Essential nutrients because the body cannot make them by itself. We can only get them from the food. Something like the dietary fiber I made mention of, some of the vitamins I made mention of, including even the minerals. So we have to be very careful not to go in for things that are lacking.
Okay, so for instance, if I have a burger, right? So there's protein in there, there's carbohydrate in there, we have fresh vegetables because it comes with tomatoes, it comes with onions, lettuce, and all that. Where is the junk?
Yes, the junk is there. I made mention of salty.
If you reduce the salt.
Definitely. So that is leading us to modification. Now, for most of the people who are into the production of this, the truth is that they have little or no idea of what the body biochemistry is, what the body physiology is.
Well, for the sake of business, they really don't
You understand? They don't care. But should we only be thinking of making money at the expense of our health? This is the huge question we all have to actually answer ourselves.
Okay.
That we shouldn't only be looking at the money, but let us consider the health of the consumer.
Okay.
If you spend your money to buy food, and then at the end of the day, it gives you sickness, and then you have to spend again on the sickness, I think that is very
So are you trying to say that we should stop eating this entirely, or we should minimize the intake of these?
Very good. So I will recommend we should try and minimize the frequency at which they are eating. Okay. That is one. And where possible, we should try and do away with them completely. It is very, very important. Somebody will be like, oh, if we do away with them completely, what should the businessmen do? It is because we are eating. That is why they are being encouraged to go into production. If you look at the history of food processing, in actual sense, it started when they have to go into space. And do some astrological checks or findings. So there will be the need to carry
things that are already prepared and packaged
and take them there. It is because of where they are going, the impossibility to prepare something and eat there. That is why they came out with the process of food packaging and so on. So in our age, in our homes, we don't have any of such circumstances surrounding us. And so we have to do our best to do away with the packaging. So
would you consider fried rice and chicken junk food?
Yes and no.
But it has...
yes
okay,
and
so
no.
So the no aspect. No,
exactly. So most people prefer to add some forms of sauces that are high in one, monosodium glutamate. That is one. And then not only that, fat is also in there. So if you want to have your fried rice, okay, and you decide to add more veggies to it, you limit the oil, you reduce the salt. It isn't junk, you understand? So it is the combinations that we will make. That is what we tell or we determine whether the food is junk or not junk.
Okay.
It's
now, in
actually
terms
very
of
important.
oils to use, are there some oils better than the others? So, for instance, if I'm preparing with coconut oil, I'm preparing with virgin olive oil, is it better?
Yes, there are some oils that are actually better than others. And those that are better than others are those from plant sources, specifically our vegetable oils. Now, let me stress on this that regardless of the quality of the oil, there are things that can make the oil junk. One, the length of time it spends on fire. That is the first thing. And then the temperature to which the oil is exposed. Every oil has what we call smoke points. So the moment the oil is on fire and you start seeing smoke coming out of it, you are spoiling the oil. So the oil may be good, but it may change from good to the trans, configuration. That is what actually, becomes hazardous to our health. Now, there are some oils that need not to be exposed to heat for a long period of time. In fact, we don't even have to expose them to heat. The moment we do that, we destroy it. We have virgin coconut oil. We don't use that to fry. We don't use that for stews and so on. If you have your salad that you want to prepare, you use them. But a lot of people are naive about every oil must go on fire. Every oil must go on fire. This is what most people are not actually aware of. So no matter the quality of the oil, the length of time spent, and then the temperature, it is exposed to, can actually make it bad too.
Can we quickly touch on chicken, because we eat a lot of chicken in this country? At what point would you consider chicken junk?
Okay, thank you so much. So one, I made mention of the characteristics of junk food: high, sugar, high salt. Now the chicken can be junk when the spices used, the monosodium glutamate is found in the spices that we are using, the artificial ones. So the more we forsake our natural spices and go in for artificial ones, the more we become exposed to the dangers that are associated with junks intake. So that is one thing. And then also the fat that surrounds it, we have to find a way to get it stripped of the skin. And then we also have to look at the cooking method.
That's the crispy part.
The crispy part, So we have to look at the cooking method. If it is actually deep fried, you are adding more calories. The oil may be destroyed. So the best would be to roast, to smoke, and so on.
So when I was on campus, one of the things we learned in biochem was that the reason why certain foods are very tasty and smell very nice is the fat. It's from the fat, So it basically, like you're saying, it's the three things: it's sugar, salt, fat.
Exactly.
These are the three, and especially in combination, make the whole thing junk. Because, Charlie, so as it smells nice, no, it means there's trouble there.
Exactly. And you see,
So you should stop eating chicken and chips?
no, chicken can be consumed, but the cooking method is what I will. And then the chips is completely junk because it's made from flour,
but there's oil.
sieved or strained flour. You understand? Margarine is, which is hydrogenated oil.
But
is
if the chips
incorporated
is
into that.
from cassava or from yam,
Yeah, that is okay.
But potato is also cool.
Potato is cool.
Yeah.
You understand? But most of them are deep fried. Do you understand?
such-
Apart from those that are baked. So you have to look at
you.
a lot of things when it comes to the junk. Now, one thing that the junks do is very simple. You see, eating a junk food is like rewarding your brain. It's like rewarding a child.
yeah,
So when
it creates addiction.
exactly,
Yeah.
it results in addiction because the body, once you introduce it, it produces a neurotransmitter we call dopamine. And the more dopamine you are producing or secreting in the brain, the more attracted you become to the junk food.
What if I can burn all these energies?
Well, that is also another, but some of them are not energies you can burn, like the salt. It is not an energy you can actually burn. Do you understand? And you are looking at what is lacking. Is there another way you can get it? You see. And you see, one of the dangers of eating junk is that you are exposing the body itself to stress.
So if I eat apem, okay, plantain
Yes.
with like garden eggs stew or contomere and kobe and egg, is that junk food?
It is not junk, but the Kobe there is junky. It's junky because
Salt.
the salt
Heavy,
is in
heavy
there.
salt.
However,
reduce
there
the
is a
salt.
way to actually modify the Kobe
Yeah.
to make it healthy. So if tomorrow you will use it, you have to soak the Kobe in
Then it's no
a
longer
lot
Kobe.
of water. No, the reason why people add the Kobe is because of flavor and aroma.
Yeah.
So in soaking, you are trying to leach
Leach
out
the salt.
the salt.
Yeah.
But the aroma
Then you
and the
have
flavor
tilapia, you don't have
is
Kobe.
still in it. You understand?
right,
So
Thank
you.
all these are we are actually talking about the dangers. But if time doesn't permit us, I want us to look at them and connect the things, the sugar with the dangers,
Maybe we'll
the
have
salt,
to have an extended version.
Yeah.
of this.
the
We'll
salt
have
with
to
the
have another
sugar,
extended,
the
later.
dangers, and so that
time.
our viewers can be
We
at par.
should
with us.
continue
Come
this
back for
topic
part
later. Yeah,
Yeah.
for part 2. All right.